All right, welcome to Dynamo Dynamics, winning goals to digital dominance. I'm your host, Danny Perry, and with me as always is my guy, Kai Peterson. And Kai, we have a few things to talk about today. How are you doing first?
I'm doing well. I mean, my team moved on in Champions League to the quarterfinals, so excited.
Were you ever in doubt?
No. Actually, we were going to get in Champions League a little bit later, but I did call the first game 3-0 Bayern Munich, and we won 3-0. Second game 2-0. We really took care of business, so I'm ecstatic about that.
It was pretty emphatic. I think you guys were on cruise control. I was traveling yesterday, but sent you a message like, hey, what are y'all doing? It doesn't seem like you're really, putting too much intensity into this match.
No, but we still did. It was actually a pretty intense game, but all in all, just good deal. I'm excited for the next round.
Good deal. I would get into my team in Arsenal in the Champions League, but they don't play until today. We're filming a little bit later this week than normal, but we'll see. Although they are basically already through after the 7-1 victory last week, so I think they can pull people off the street today and still comfortably win this thing or advance to meet whoever wins from the Madrid teams. All right, so guess what I got to do last week?
I don't know.
Get the chance to visit the Houston Dynamo practice facilities out at Houston Sports Park. Really awesome experience facilitated by 11 Sports Media. Got to watch a training session with the team. Can't post any video of that, but top secrets, we'd have to kill you. But beyond that, got a chance to speak with General Manager Pat Onstad and Asher Mendelson, the technical director, and also to meet Ben Olsen, the head coach of the team. So it was pretty awesome. The facilities, the practice fields, the Houston Dash also practice at the same facility as well as the academy. So to really get a chance to see how the Dynamo are growing the football base here in the city, the recruiting talent, developing them up, very much like the bigger European clubs with the academy kids coming in and the practicing together with the first and second teams. It was pretty impressive, man. It was good to get that inside look. So,
how were the facilities? Were they up to date? They look nice, and
they are. From what I can, from what they converted it from a American football specific facility. Okay. So in the inside still has the gridiron marks on the on the turf. However, their facilities, from what we were told by Asher Mendelson during the tour, was that their facilities are some of the top in the league, and as dedicated training room, Sivyachenko was on the table when we were in there. So I think he made it back to the match. So good job there. But the practice fields are pretty immaculate. There are maybe 10 fields on that at that Houston Sports Park, and they're immaculate. The goalkeepers were practicing separately from the outfield players initially, and then they all came together, simulated match. We understand their training schedule now. They shrink the field as the week goes on, or I'm sorry, lengthen the field as the week goes on so that they don't wear their players out. We were there on a Wednesday, which is their most intense practice day of the week before they travel for the weekend's match. So it was awesome. Yeah, it was good to see how it all worked.
How'd we look?
We looked pretty good. We looked on the practice pitch. They were sharp. They were going after it, and you could see the coaching in between the moves and what they were trying to accomplish, especially after leaking goals in the first two matches. I think there was a real focus on not doing that and what type of adjustments that they would make, and that actually came to play, I believe, in the match this weekend against Columbus.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
I mean, we saw it was a defensive-minded game for us, for sure, on that game. So that's good that practice makes perfect, I guess.
Yeah, it at least translates over to the game. And I think the Dynamo have been a 4-2-3-1, pretty traditional, but they kind of lined up and looked like a 4-2-2-2 in this. So that was a direct result of the tactics change in order to, I feel, get the defense more solid.
Yeah.
And in talking to the general manager, they talked a lot. He talked a lot about the Mikhail departure how that happened and how it impacted the team. I mean, it's given an opportunity for some younger players to step up, Femi Idosu in particular. but that is really has impacted the team because that was the guy, that was their cleanup guy. That was the, he would take care of mistakes at the back and or in the outfield, and if it came back to him, he would clean it up. But that guy leaving on match day 1 at that time really hurt the team.
Definitely. Yeah. I mean, he was a defensive wall back there.
Absolutely. Absolutely. They couldn't resist the money, though.
Yeah, it was a substantial amount where we could make a lot more moves with it. And I actually did see that we picked up, I think, another midfielder. So
I've been a little bit out of the news loop for the last day or so, so you'll have to update me on that, or we'll get back to you on that one on our next show.
Yeah, but that could be related to the extra cash that we have to spend, or who knows?
Indeed. His point was very clear that they invested back into the team. They invested into the academy. The academy is not a money-making endeavor. It's to build the sport and build the team and the talent base of the team. So they invest something from a player, from a sale, of a player like Mikael, who was the biggest transfer in the history of the team, from a financial perspective. That was when they hit that number, they really had to make the move, and that type of funding, $6 million in MLS for a Houston Dynamo transfer, it's pretty substantial. And then if you even look at the progression of, he came in as an academy kid, they grew him through the system to a first-team defender, to such a level where a big club like Palmeiras paid that type of money to. So it signals a big change in MLS, I think. In a lot of ways, the league itself is changing and becoming more.
It shows the academy is doing its job.
Indeed. I
mean, we see it all the time in like the Premier League or any European league. There's always young stars that come up and then they get sold for tons of money, and then that club has cash to spend.
Exactly. So let's hope that progression continues, and hope the next big academy graduate.
It could be Femi. He's
got the size, he's got the speed, he's got the strength. It appears to me.
He got brought up from the second team, so I mean, and he's young. He has a lot of years to come. So
that's good. Yeah. So we're hoping. So what about the game? What did you think about the game against Columbus, one of the top teams in MLS over the last few years? And we've given up a lot of goals. We hadn't won a match at all this season out of the 2 we've played. And then going on the road.
Yeah. Well, honestly, I think after kind of watching a little bit of the game and reviewing the stats and everything, the 0-0 draw felt like almost a win because they beat us in every statistic possible this game. They beat us in pass accuracy, possession, shots on target. They had less fouls. They had more corners. I mean, they dominated us, but we didn't give up any goals. So that's a big plus, especially playing away. I think last week's episode I said Columbus Stadium is known for...
It was raucous.
Yeah.
It was full.
Yeah.
No doubt. A couple of great saves that I saw by Andrew Tarbell as well.
Yeah, I saw those, and they were nice.
Yeah. So with that, did it appear to you that they were playing a counterattacking game, like give up possession and we're going to hit them on the counter at some point?
I think so. I also think that we were just playing it a little bit safer too. So none of the counterattacks really seemed to pan out. They just didn't seem to fully develop as sometimes. I feel like sometimes they should have. But all in all, I think defensively it was a statement for us that to not give up a goal after bleeding goals the first 2, giving up just handing out goals in the first 2 games. So definitely it's refreshing to see that 0 on the scoreline from another team.
Yeah, we would have liked to have seen just a 1-0 on the scoreline for Columbus and, a 1 or a 2 in front of or behind the Dynamo's name. But a draw is definitely better than a third consecutive loss.
Yeah, we got points on the board.
Stop the bleeding.
Yeah, and now we got Salt Lake at home, so maybe our attack will do something at home with the fans backing them.
Yeah, we're going to need something from Ponce. We're going to need something more from Bassi, obviously. We're going to need points from the forwards and from the midfield. But right now, the service is coming in. I saw some great crosses coming in from Dorsey, in particular, in this last match, and he's done it pretty much all season. He's getting the ball into the zone. The end product hasn't been there, and that's what we're going to need a lot more of.
For sure. Yeah. I agree. I know, like, last year Salt Lake was always a tough battle, and we're at home, so we really need the 3 points here. We really need the win on this one.
If that's not a segue for a game prediction, I don't know what is. So, so what's it going to be?
Salt Lake, well, those games last year were pretty high scoring, weren't they?
Yeah, they were. I don't remember the exact score lines, but it seemed like 3 goals was pretty much whoever
scored 3-1.
Exactly.
I think I'll keep that going for this year. I think I'll go 3-1 Dynamo.
3-1 Dynamo. We're going to get our first win of the season, and I'm going to predict it'll be, because our scoring boots really aren't there, I'm going to stick with the same prediction I had last week, 1-0 Dynamo. So either way, we're going to win.
Yeah, we'll win this week.
We're going to win. All right, so what do the standings look like? Any surprises to you? I know we're sitting close to the bottom, but not at the bottom.
We're 13th, but I think the biggest surprise to anyone who watches MLS is the LA Galaxy.
Yeah.
They are winless, drawless, 0 points from champions to the bottom of the barrel in the blink of an eye.
Quickly. Wow, you think they'll turn it around, though?
100%. I think they'll turn it around. I mean, they got superstars on their team. Something may just not be clicking. I actually haven't kept up if they have any injuries or anything, but they have quality.
Yeah.
They should turn it around. You know, I'd love for them not to stay down there.
Yeah.
but you know, it's a good club with good players and good coaching, so I'm sure they'll start producing.
Speaking of, well, I'm sure you're right. But speaking of, I guess, good clubs, good coaching, I haven't really had a chance to look at them up close or anything, but who is this brand new San Diego FC that's sitting second, I believe, in the table right now?
Yeah, I think they have 2 wins, 1 draw, and they look good. I don't know anything about them.
Yeah.
I looked at their lineup, tried to see if I recognized any players. Maybe, but I'd really have to go through and check their previous clubs.
A deep dive.
Yeah, but they're shocking me for sure.
Yeah, indeed. So, surprise, Galaxy at the bottom, expansion team at the top. Why not the Dynamo?
Yeah.
Win the damn league. All right. Well, very good. Upcoming, as we said, we have the Real Salt Lake, then a friendly against El Salvador, and then Seattle Sounders. So it doesn't get easier, does it?
Nah, but we just got to get the ball in the back of the net, and we'll find some form.
There you go. All right. I guess the other big thing that's upcoming soon here, not soccer related, but it's almost March Madness time.
Yeah.
So we're in the conference tournament stage now. Any really super early prediction on who's going to win the NCAA basketball tournament? Women and men.
I haven't really kept up with the women's right now because I know it's already going on. I feel like it's a little premature. I feel like they're typically around. Usually I make my brackets on the same day for both, but I really like the way Duke plays. They look incredible. I think Florida could make a deep run. There's so many teams this year. I think the NIL is just creating all these, basically just transferring to new schools that creates so much more competition.
Yeah.
But too early prediction. Duke's young. That's the only reason I don't want to pick them. But I'll just pick Duke. They look incredible.
Duke on the men's side, and there's just this. I think there's a team that's number 3 in the national standings right now. That's just right across town, Kai.
Yeah.
And you're just going to ignore the University of Houston Cougars? They play great defense. They shoot the ball, the 3 ball really well. They have a number of established stars.
They control the game really well, but I could see them losing to a team like Alabama because they're complete opposites. Alabama's like the highest paced team in the country. They score almost 90 points every game, and U of H always sits around that 50 points, but they control the game so well, and they're very defensive minded. So I don't know. I could see U of H though.
All right. Well, U of H, I'm predicting, very early predicting. And I'll pick South Carolina on the women's side. I think they'll go back and do it again. But that's all we have for today.
Yeah.
So we'll be back next week,
Yeah, let us know your Dynamo predictions, Champions League predictions. I guess the Carabao Cup final is this Sunday or Saturday. Liverpool got knocked out of Champions League.
Yay.
But they still have a chance to win 2 good trophies for them this year. But yeah, let us know your predictions in the comments and get back with us next week.
All right. Thank you guys for joining. We'll see you next week.